The best thing that you can do following a poor night of insomnia is absolutely nothing. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Dr. Parky. I'm a clinical psychologist and behavioral sleep medicine specialist, and I'm here to talk a little bit more about how we can get out of the insomnia trap and get us back on track. So when we've been struggling with insomnia for years, we very naturally start to develop a negative relationship with sleep. We begin to become more reactive to a poor night. So, an older version of you who was a good sleeper might have been like, oh, well, I had a bad night, but, it's no big deal. The current person who struggles with insomnia might be like, holy crap, like, tomorrow is going to be horrible. What if this happens again? I can't handle it. Maybe there's just something fundamentally broken in my brain. And that strong reaction to the insomnia, to a sleepless night, leads to behaviors that are very reasonable on paper, but can perpetuate our insomnia in the long run. Let's talk about why that is and why when we respond and react negatively to a poor night, how that can actually lead to insomnia. So let's say, you went to bed at 11, just had a horrible, horrible night, and you were supposed to wake up at 7, but because you had such a bad night and, you could kind of allow for it, you slept in until 9 or 10. And then throughout the day, you were so tired, so you decided, I'm just gonna cancel some of my plans. Maybe I'll try to take a nap if I can. And I'm kind of worried about tomorrow night. Like, what if I don't fall asleep again? So maybe if I just go to bed around 10, maybe everything will work out. So all of those behaviors, again, sound very reasonable on paper, but let's see how it actually impacts each of our sleep regulation principles, our sleep drive, our circadian rhythm, as well as a little bit of this arousal piece. So sleep drive. Sleep drive is our appetite for sleep. The longer that we are awake and out of bed, the more pressure or sleep drive or appetite we build up for sleep for the end of the night. So what would happen if you, instead of waking up at 7, you went and woke up at 9 or 10? Well, your sleep drive would be lower. If you tried to nap and you were successful, that's like a little sleep snack, so your sleep drive would be lower. And if you went to bed instead of at 11, your usual bedtime, but you went to bed at 10, also going to be kind of a bit of a reduction in your sleep drive. So overall, all of these behaviors, very reasonable, actually reduce your overall appetite for sleep. Next, let's talk about our circadian rhythm. Our circadian rhythm is kind of like our internal clock, and it's not always perfectly mapped on the clock on the wall. So, certain things can impact our circadian rhythm, like if we travel to a different time zone, we experience jet lag because our internal clock no longer mapped onto the clock on the wall. And the same thing or jet lag symptoms can happen by virtue of having a very irregular schedule. So let's say you slept in until, 9 or 10 instead of your usual 7. Now you've created 2 or 3 hours worth of sort of jet lag symptoms by that sort of variability of when you're getting light, as well as when you're waking up and engaging in certain behaviors like timing of meals. So all of those things are going to be shifted, and it's going to create even more symptoms of malaise and feeling kind of weird and drowsy. So all of those things, of course, negatively impact our circadian clock, despite them being compensatory behaviors for trying to save our previous night. And from an arousal perspective, if you're thinking about the next night, you're like, oh my gosh, what if tomorrow is going to be the same and I'm going to have another horrible night? I can't handle that. You can imagine how that anxiety, the sort of hyperarousal, starts to fly up, and that's in face of a low sleep drive and a dysregulated circadian clock. With high arousal, that is a pretty poor equation for getting some better sleep the next night. So all these compensatory behaviors, again, so much reasonable sense associated with it because you're feeling tired, you're exhausted, you just want a little bit more extra sleep, but all of them sabotage how we might sort of have sleep the next night as well. So fundamentally, the best thing that you can do following a poor night's sleep is absolutely nothing. You still wake up around the same time, set the circadian clock, really make sure you're building that extra sleep drive by getting up at the same time, avoiding naps, going to bed at your usual time the next night, and being able to say, hey, you know what, like, I've dealt with insomnia for a while, and I know I can function reasonably well. Things are effortful, no doubt. I'm a little bit more irritated, but I can handle it. And the next night when it comes, to say, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I have this weird prediction that it's going to be worse, but the sleep science would suggest that it should be better because I have extra hunger for sleep now. So maybe I can just allow myself to take a bit of a beginner's mind to just say, I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. So in some ways, at least facetiously, this is a pretty easy skill to apply. Well, easier said than done. But, really, you're just supposed to do nothing and do exactly the same things, follow the valued activities you would normally do, still spend time with friends, still study, go work out as much as you can without overexerting yourself, and then just wait until the next night and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching as always, wishing you some more restful nights ahead, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.